Hi everybody, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have another Reading 3 reading vlog for you, but guess what? Today it's not thrillers. Today we are going to be reading 3 romance books from Kindle Unlimited. These books are going to be One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, The Sweetest Fix by Tessa and A Not So Meet Cute by Meghan Quinn. I've heard really good things about all 3 of these books. I'm very excited to jump into them. I'm expecting, from what I've heard, that I'm going to find a new favorite with Casey McQuiston. Everybody really seems to like her a lot. I personally have read from Tessa before and enjoyed her. So I'm getting the impression that one of those is probably going to be a new favorite, but I'm very excited to get into these titles and see how I feel. I can't wait to keep you updated in the process, so let's just jump right on into it. Hi everyone, so I am 179 pages into One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, and I gotta say, I wasn't really expecting this out of this book, but I'm kind of enjoying it. So, in One Last Stop, we are following August, who is relocating to New York, and she finds an advertisement for a roommate in a small apartment above Popeyes, and ends up being one of 4 roommates, and she's commuting every day on the subway to work, and she meets this girl named Jane and kind of strikes up a friendship with her. Then one day at work, she sees a picture on her job's back wall of opening day, and it is a restaurant, and the opening day was from 1976, and she sees her subway buddy on this wall, and she has not aged a day. I wasn't expecting this. I was not expecting a paranormal-esque twist with this, and I'm assuming that that's what this is, because, I mean, what else can it really be? She hasn't aged in 40 years. So, it's like August is trying to put together a timeline and figure out what happened to Jane, but she also has a little bit of a crush on Jane, so it's a romance in that regards. I was expecting it to be straight up romance. I wasn't expecting this other angle to it, but I really do think it's an interesting concept, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So I am going to jump back into this, and I will update you guys in a little while. Hi everybody. So I finished One Last Stop last night. I am so shocked by how much I enjoyed this book. It was definitely romance, and it definitely had some steamy parts in it, but there was so much more to it than that. It had like this paranormal time travel thing going on that I completely was not anticipating going into this book. But I really enjoyed it, and I liked that August kind of had this ability to, this ability and this talent to find missing people, and like she ends up inspiring to become a private investigator, which I thought was really cool. And I enjoyed the time travel aspects of this. So basically, what happened was Jane in 1976 was on the tracks of the Q, which is this subway line in New York. And I'm not sure if this is like a real subway line or if it was just like the name of it for the book. I've never used the subway in my life, so I honestly don't have any idea when it comes to that. But she was on the line in 1976 when there was a blackout, and it, like, instead of unaliving her like it should have, it projected her into the future. And it's like she was stuck on this train until August came along, and then like August snapped her back into reality. Like she didn't even know she was stuck until that point. And so August is like trying to figure out who she is because she wasn't even sure of her name. Like Jane was like the name of the designer of the jacket she was wearing. So that's just what she was using. It was so cool to like see her memories come back as August unlocked things for her. And it was so cute and quirky and fun. And the cast of characters in this, I loved pretty much every character. Everybody had something to offer. Everybody was hysterical. It was so good. I'm definitely going to have to read some more Casey McQuiston because this was a really cute one and it kept me smiling the whole time. And now I am going to be jumping into another book. This one I'm really expecting to like because it is Tessa Bailey, The Sweetest Fix. I have read 2 Tessa Baileys previously, and I really enjoyed them, but they were companion novels, and this one is not part of that series. So I'm interested to see how something's going to go that's not like a part of that universe or whatever, but I am going to jump into that, and I will get back to you guys in a little while. So I am about halfway through The Sweetest Fix by Tessa Bailey, and just like I thought that I would, I am really enjoying this one. We are following Reese, who is a professional dancer, and she's kind of on her last leg, and she like scored this really major audition in New York. But when she got there, she was late for her audition and she wasn't able to reschedule it. So she goes on this mission to try to get another audition by befriending the director's son who owns this little bakery. And the son is completely unaware of this. It's a cute story. I don't necessarily agree with what she's doing, but I will say that at least she has reservations herself. She has said multiple times, this isn't right. This guy's too nice for this. And I'm hoping she doesn't go through with that and that they just have their little friendship. But it's such a cute story. It's really short. When I checked it on Kindle Unlimited, it looks like it's only 207 pages. So that means that I am halfway through right now. And it's very cute. The spicy scenes are pretty spicy, but I have come to realize from the Tessa Baileys that I have read that that's pretty normal for her. So I am really enjoying myself right now. I'm hoping that I can finish this tonight and get you guys updated on it. If you have any more recommendations for more Tessa Bailey, please leave them down in the description below because I have really been enjoying her. This is my 3rd book from her, and I would love to read more, but I'm not really sure what to start with or what her best ones are considered to be. So just let me know if you have any recommendations, and I will update you here in a little while. Hi everyone. So I finished The Sweetest Fix. I really enjoyed that book. It was so cute and fun and sweet. It's not deep by any stretch of the imagination. It's just fun. And sometimes we just want a cute, fun, fluffy story to kind of lift our spirits. And The Sweetest Fix was definitely that for me. I've been going through a little bit of a hard time recently, and this one had me smiling. It had me laughing. And even though that was not the intent when I went into it, that was exactly what I needed. So I'm so glad that I chose to read The Sweetest Fix. That's not a Tessa Bailey that I have actually heard a lot about, but it definitely deserves more coverage than it gets, I think. I know I haven't read a lot of Tessa Bailey's yet. That was only my 3rd one from her, but I really liked it. I had mentioned earlier in what I'd mentioned previously that I didn't really necessarily agree with what Reese was doing with introducing herself to this theater director's son to try to reschedule her audition. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way when she initially planned on doing that. I was very against her character, but she won me back over very, very quickly because she realized almost immediately that this was a very nice guy and that she did not want to use him like that. And she chose to try to make it in New York another way on her own. So I respected her a lot more, even though that was her intent. She didn't follow through with that. So I was very happy to kind of see the tides turn there and see a character like realize the error of their ways and not do something that's so nasty. So I'm really glad that she chose to try it on her own rather than using a connection. It really made me a lot more sympathetic to her character and made me more willing to care about her journey and root for her. And also Leo, which is the director's son, he owns this bakery. That's where they meet initially. She remembers that the theater director's son had a bakery. She saw it in an article, and that was how she tracked him down and how they met. And he is actually a very gruff, no-nonsense, very introverted type of personality. He's not mean and he's not rude, but he's just like very awkward. He doesn't like to be around people. And there's a couple of different sequences that this happens in, and I found it so hysterical. I don't know why I found it as funny as I did, but I just couldn't get over this. So, Reese basically helps him come up with this promotional idea called the Sweetest Fix for Valentine's Day. Whereas somebody can come into the bakery and give some basic information about their significant other and then have the shop recommend basically like a Valentine's Day treat. And this blew up and went viral on TikTok, much to Leo, the man's chagrin. He was not happy with it blowing up because it means he has to deal with people and he doesn't want to deal with people. And there's this one particularly hysterical scene where a couple of TikTok influencers like corner him outside of the bakery and they're asking if they can film inside. He says no. And they therefore begin to just film outside and like trying to interview him and asking him questions. And he's just like, no. And he eventually ends up snapping at them that they're close to submissions, which they actually are not, but he wants them to go away. And I thought it was so funny because he goes inside the bakery at that point and then he thinks to himself, maybe that interview should go on the Talk, not TikTok, Talk. And he does it like 3 or 4 more times throughout the book. And I just found it so funny every single time because I'm picturing this gruff, no nonsense person being like, talk. And I'm sure it was funnier to me than it actually was, but I found it really funny. But yeah, this book was very, very cute, fun, fluffy, sweet. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed myself greatly. Now, on the flip side of that, I am currently reading A Not So Meet Cute by Meghan Quinn. And this one, I'm not sure how I feel about. I'm still very early into it. I'm only like 95 pages into this book. And so far, I'm kind of torn right down the middle. This isn't the book that I thought that it was. I could have sworn I had heard somebody mention that title before. And I think it was a different author because when I actually started like reading the synopsis and everything, I'm like, this isn't what I thought that it was. But that's okay. I'm still going to continue to read it for the blog because that was my mistake. But I'm kind of in the middle on this one. I don't really care for the actual plot line itself, to be honest. I feel like it's been done to death. And I personally don't really like the fake lovers trope. It drives me crazy. Um, However, I think that the characters in this are very good. They're very well-rounded. They're entertaining. Um, they're quick-witted. I really enjoy the characters. So, like, my feelings on this one are completely torn in half right now. In this one, we are following Lottie and Huxley. And they have both gotten themselves into a little bit of a predicament. With Huxley, he is a big real estate developer. He's a millionaire. And he's been trying to land this deal with this one dude for a while. And he hadn't been able to connect with him. He wasn't like sealing the deal like the way that he had hoped to. And then one day he sees him on the street with a pregnant woman, and this guy introduces this woman as his fiance, and Huxley has a big like a light bulb moment, and he's like, oh, I can connect with him on a personal level, if not a business level. So he tells him that he has a pregnant fiance too, but then hijinks afoot. They want to meet her. They want to have dinner with her. So now he has to come up with a pregnant fiance. And on Lottie's side, she has had very bad luck with friendships and relationships. She has been working for a year with a frenemy named Angela, who has been a toxic friend in the past, who has stabbed her in the back multiple times. And she had hired her for her company and told her she would triple her salary after a year. But now that a year has come up, instead of promoting her, she has actually fired Lottie. And Lottie is devastated because she lives at home with her parents, and they have been very vocally super excited about her getting her promotion so that she can get her own place. And she does not want to disappoint them, which I actually think is very, very sweet. And but rather than tell them the truth, which for the life of me, I can't understand why she can't just tell them that this woman stabbed her in the back. Rather than tell them the truth, she has decided that she is going to try to find a rich boyfriend to a rich guy to stand in for her boyfriend, basically, because she also has this high school reunion coming up, and she really just wants to show that she's more successful, even though she lost the job. And these two literally run into each other on a street corner by accident, and their subsequent issues just kind of spill out. And Huxley tells her that he will pretend to be her boyfriend at this reunion and pay off her college debt, which she is very, very has been concerned about, if she goes to these business meetings with him and pretends to be his pregnant fiance. With the plot line, it's like, I've seen very similar stuff to that before, maybe not with the pregnancy angle, but I've definitely seen like these fake relationships, and I've never really been fond of them. And I think it's because in my brain, I never can get past the whole point of it even being necessary. So it's like it takes me out of the story a lot. And that's kind of proven to be true here. Mostly on her end, I kind of see why he wants to do this, because he's worried about his reputation, his business reputation. Like, he shouldn't have come up with that lie in the first place, but he didn't think it was going to bite him in the butt. He just, thought that this guy would start talking to him more and they would seal the deal. He wasn't expecting that he would have to produce somebody. So, I kind of understand why he wants to do this, because it's his business on the line. With her, I'm not saying that I don't feel like what she went through was bad. This Angela person, it's a very horrible person, horrible friend. I mean, I wouldn't have put up with this girl as long as Lottie did. And I understand that was very hurtful. But I don't feel like I need a man to parade around at my high school reunion to prove that I'm successful is a good enough reason to do something like this. And I don't understand why she can't just tell her mother that she got fired. Because she just keeps coming back to, I can't tell her, I can't tell her. And it's like, her mom is super, super sweet. She's not like a judgmental kind that's going to be like, you know, like calling her names and like bringing her down. Like, I don't get that vibe off of her mother at all. So I'm just not understanding what the point is with doing this. But like I said, the characters are actually very well written and well rounded, and it's like I like their interactions, and they have quick wit, so it's like it is interesting to see them interacting and see what's going to happen. But it's just that plot line itself, man. I don't know. I really don't know how I feel. This is a longer one. It's over 400 pages, and I'm only 95, so I'm hoping that my feelings will kind of sort themselves out the rest of the way that I get through this book. But we shall see. I'm going to jump back into it, and I will update you guys here in a little while. Hi, everyone. So I finished a Not So Meet Cute. I had every intention of updating earlier on, but I'll be honest, I didn't quite know how to articulate how I felt about it. So I just kept waiting for things to change, and they never really did. Positives for a Not So Meet Cute. It had some funny scenes. It's like the comedy was on par. The steamy scenes were definitely steamy. So for those of you that like a high heat level in your romance, it might be a good one for you. But like I said, the overall plot line just got on my nerves. It was annoying, and that did not change as time went on. If anything, it got a little bit worse. I really despised both of the main characters. Don't get me wrong, I thought that they were written very well, but I just disliked them as people. Lottie was just extremely, extremely whiny and like just sarcastic, and she acted like a 16-year-old kid. And then Huxley, the way that this book was written, we're supposed to like him. It's very evident that we are supposed to like Huxley. And I didn't. I thought he was cocky. I thought he was arrogant, rude, borderline abusive. You know, there's multiple scenes in this book where when Huxley is upset, he grabs Lottie by the chin, forces her to look at him, holds her head in place, and tells her how things are. I'm sorry, but if you are physically restraining somebody, especially if you are grabbing their face, that's abuse. And it was just played off as she's stubborn, and that's the only way that he could get her to listen to him. And I'm just like, no, that's not how that works. To me, that is no different than saying that because somebody is stubborn, they deserve to be smacked around. Oh, you won't listen to me? I'm gonna show you who's in charge. That was the vibe I got off of it. The only difference was he wasn't hitting her. So yeah, I really, really didn't like that happened many, many times. And like, yes, Lottie was stubborn, and she could be infuriating, but that's not okay to do to anybody, in my opinion. And then there was a sequence towards the end that really irritated me. So Huxley discovers that the client that he has been trying to deceive has known all along that this was a hoax, that she was his fake fiance, that they were fake pregnant, everything. And when Huxley finds this out, he panics and he blames Lottie, and he says some really horrible, really rude things. And she rightfully so, was quite offended, and she left. And then he goes chasing her down. He tries to get her to talk to him for a couple of days. Finally gets her to agree to a dinner. And she comes over to the house. She's still very upset. She is crying. She is still crying. She is so upset. And he's like doing these over-the-top grand gesture type things, like putting their contract in a paper shredder. Like, that's going to make everything go away that's happened. And the things that he accused her of. And when this isn't enough for her, he gets angry at her. So she gets up and she's like, I'm leaving. Goes towards the door. He grabs her, spins her around, and pins her to the wall. I was like, I'm trying to apologize, damn it. It's like, we know you're trying to apologize, but she doesn't have to accept your apology. Like, he thinks that just because he says, I'm sorry, it's going to make all those feelings of distrust go away. You know, it's like, get your hands off of her. And he's supposed to be our hero. We're supposed to like him. Like, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I hate that. I hate that. I hate when romance uses this dominant side to to promote the romance, basically. And basically saying that it's sexy and that it's okay. Because what I feel like that does is it gives women the impression that abuse is all right. Because if that stuff is happening in the romance books that they read and everybody swoons over it and it's like, oh, that's so romantic, that's such a great gesture, when it happens to them in real life, they're going to think it's acceptable and think that it's okay. And I can't get on board with that. You know, it's like, I'm thinking that this was a combination of things for me that I didn't really enjoy. I think that the fake dating thing wasn't my cup of tea. I think that the billionaire thing wasn't my cup of tea because he did throw his money around and he used it to get what he wanted. And he, like, early on, before he even meets Lottie, and he's upset that this dude has turned down his deal, which is why he came up with this whole idiotic plan to begin with. He literally had an inner monologue of, like, he should be glad I want to do business with him. Who does he think he is? And it's just like, what, do you think that you poop gold? Like, not everybody has to want to do business with you. Not everybody wants your money. So, I think that took me out of things a lot. I've never been the biggest fan of enemies to lovers. Don't get me wrong. It can work in certain situations. I'm not saying that it is a trope that I can never like, but I have noticed that it really depends on how it's done and what it's accompanied with on whether or not I'm able to enjoy that. And I think there was just so much of this going on in this book that I just couldn't do it. Yeah, so I gave A Not So Meet Cute 2 stars. It was my first Meghan Quinn, and like I said, there were elements of it that I thought were funny, thought were good. There were some very, very funny scenes, and I liked that the dialogue was like snappy and witty, and you know, things like that. So it's like there were elements to it that I liked with the writing style. So I'm like, I might try her again without those tropes if I can find it. But this one just wasn't for me. Thankfully, I really enjoyed the other 2 books that I read for the vlog, One Last Stop and The Sweetest Fix. I really, really enjoyed both of those. They were both 4-star reads. If I were to rank the books that I read for this vlog, it's hard, actually, because I really enjoyed One Last Stop and The Sweetest Fix equally. They were kind of neck and neck. They were right on par with each other, but the subject matter was very different. If really pressed, I might say that I enjoyed The Sweetest Fix just a touch more, but they're very, very close. They're very, very close. It's hard to rank them. But and then of course they're up here and then A Not So Meet Cute's way down here. But that's okay. That happens sometimes. But that is all that I have for you guys today. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, follow me on the social medias. Click that bell if you want to be notified of all of my upcoming videos. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.